I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why do I find it nearly impossible to see a glass door? So if it's got like an edge or something really obvious, then my brain knows that means that there's a door there. But if there isn't, I have walked into numerous glass doors in my life. Why can other people know that they're a glass door, but I don't?
Yeah, so I suspect it's similar to some of the other questions we've had about specific sort of visual tasks or observations. I suspect it falls into that category of it's quite a difficult thing to do visually. Because for me, for example, to see a glass door, I'd probably only know that, like you, if there was a clue in the surround of it, but then I've got a better way, I can see that more clearly because my visual acuity is better. But also I would be perhaps reacting to subtleties of the reflection in the glass. So if there's a reflection in the glass that I just catch, it could only be something tiny, then I might see that, or I might see a smudge or a fingerprint on the glass or whatever. So I'm picking up on pretty subtle visual clues, which is why so many people without visual impairment walk into glass doors, right? More if they're cleaner than dirty. So again, I think I would put that in the category of it's actually quite a difficult thing to recognise visually. And because of all the things we talked about before in albinism, with reduced visual acuity, difficulty with motion, difficulty with distance, I think it's just an even more difficult task for you if you have albinism. How many have you walked into?
You? None of your business.
To be fair, I've walked into a few as well.
It's interesting though, because from what you're saying, it seems like people who have like typical vision, you do things that you don't realize that you're doing to see things, but you don't know that you're doing them until like I've just asked you this question and you've then thought about that you're doing that.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And that's actually true of most aspects of vision. People often think of your eyes as just holes in your head where the information then goes to your brain sorts it out. But actually, your eyes do a whole load of weird computing that you don't even recognise, you don't know about it, and a load of reflexes that you know nothing about, which is why when we see kids in clinic or adults with nystagmus or albinism, we often do all sorts of weird tests about moving and doing all this sort of stuff, because it's actually quite regimented. Such as people don't appreciate that the back of your eye, the retina of your eye, picks up light and turns it into brainwaves. That's the simple explanation. But there's certain cells in there that only tell your brain when things are moving from right to left, or only tell your brain when they're twisting or going downhill. They literally only fire when that happens. And sometimes they'll work as long as the one next to it hasn't worked, then it can tell how small that object is. There's all sorts of really clever computing. And there's no way I'm appreciating those things. Those things are just going to my brain. My brain does stuff, and then I react to it. But you don't really think about vision. Do you know what I mean? So no, a lot of it is reflexive, and I doubt people have any idea why they do lots of things or how they use their eyes to do complex visual tasks. So yeah, no, it's a good thought. But again, I would put that in the bucket of it's actually a really complicated thing to do.
If you've got anything else you want us to discuss or any burning questions you want us to answer, then please put it in the comments below.
And if you could press some of those buttons at the bottom, the heart ones, the thumb ones, whatever they are, apparently that's good to get people to see these videos. So please do that.